So what I'm going to talk about is how you can encourage behaviour change in the workplace, and I suppose specifically, as this is a sustainability event, going to focus on pro-environmental behaviours. And because I thought I've got like 10 minutes, I was like, right, let's do like a 10 top tips, lightning through it. But then Paris said I've got a bit longer maybe, and I've got more than 5 minutes. So, but I'm going to keep this like snappy. And if you want to know more about it, I'll do the sales plug now. I've got an online course coming up about tackling single-use plastics in the workplace. And for me, the key thing about the behaviour change piece is that we can't get people to people talk about behaviour change all the time, like, we just need behaviour change. Well, what does that mean? It's like we just need sustainability. What does that mean? So I actually did an MA at UE, an MA module on behaviour change, to find out what does behaviour change actually mean in relation to the pro-environmental behaviours. And I was sort of really enlightened about it. And actually what I realised is when we talk about behaviour change, it's not really about sort of people changing their behaviours. It's more about us changing the way we talk to them and changing the way we interact with them to guide their behaviours. So just going to kind of give you sort of a whistle-stop tour of some things to think about if you're in a workplace and you're like, yes, I just want people to stop bringing those disposable coffee cups, or I just want people to use the recycling system. Like, why do people not do that? And maybe it's the way that you're delivering it to them that's actually at fault. So maybe it's not them, but let's see. So number one, we're social creatures and we're actually motivated by what other people do. So if you want to change the way that people act, you need to change the environment around people and create what's called the social norm. So you need to create that norm of how you want people to behave rather than telling them this is what they should do. So social norms are really important because basically as human beings we're scared of being kicked out of the tribe, and so we just do what everyone else does. So that's the thing, we really are very motivated by other people. Also, shock, horror, people are really lazy and we just look for the shortcuts. Our brains are wired to look for shortcuts. So if you want someone to do something, you have to make it super easy, and that really does mean that if you've put so good example, if someone's got an under-desk bin and you wonder why they're not recycling or putting their banana in the compost bin, it's because you've given them a reason not to. Take away the under desk bin. And that brings me on to the next one, which is infrastructure. So infrastructure is key to behaviour change. And for me, this was my massive take home from the course that I did, and from all the things I've learned about behaviours, is infrastructure is everything. So if we want people to behave differently, we need to change the infrastructure that's available to them. Now, the theory behind this is called social practice theory. And if you think about the disposable coffee cup, that piece of infrastructure has changed the way we drink coffee. So if we want to change the way that people drink coffee, we need to remove the disposable coffee cup or change it from being a disposable coffee cup to a more reusable disposable coffee cup. So there's systems that are being created now and schemes where you get a disposable coffee cup that's reusable, you carry it around, an on-the-go coffee cup, you carry it around and then you drop it off at another cafe so that then they can wash it. Because what the coffee cup has done is made it that now drinking a cup of coffee is something that we do on the go, in a hurry, and that's not what drinking coffee used to be about. So if you look in your workplace and you think, why do people do this behaviour? Is it because the infrastructure that you've got there is pushing them to that behaviour? So if you want to change it, change the infrastructure that's around them. Now this is so recycling. Probably a lot of people here really love recycling. They think, yes, recycling, everyone needs to do the recycling. And then you're like, why doesn't everyone else at work like doing the recycling? Why do they just put everything in the one bin? Again, is it the infrastructure, or is it because actually recycling isn't a pro-environmental behaviour? People don't do it because they care about the planet. That for me was like a heartbreaker. But it's because they do it because, in the home they do it because everyone else does it in their street. And what the black box, the little black box that people had, was it created, the infrastructure created a social norm. And people thought, oh, if I don't put my bin out, the next door neighbours will know I'm not doing it, and everyone else is doing it, so I better do it because everyone else is doing it. So again, in the workplace, if you want people to do it properly, create the social norm and have a look at your infrastructure to see how it's confusing people. Now, I don't know what they've got here, but general waste, does anyone know what general waste means? It's meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. If you want people to recycle, tell them what to put in the bin. Be prescriptive. I mean, it drives me mad. And I was at a Waste and Resources conference the other day, full of people from the recycling industry. Guess where everyone put their recyclable materials? In the general waste bin. Anyway, that's a rant that I probably didn't need to have. So if we want to encourage people, we need to also think about how we communicate the message. Now, people suffer from something called inattentional blindness because there's so much going on in our lives all the time that we have to filter. So we can only think about a certain amount of things at any one time, and so that's what we do. We filter things. So if you want someone to do a behaviour, you need to tell them that information at the point that they're about to do the behaviour. So if you want people to carry a reusable lunchbox at lunchtime, put the reusable lunchboxes as they're about to go for lunch. Send them a reminder on the intranet at 12:30. Don't send them an email at 1 o'clock or put a poster in the toilet because it's just not relevant. And the other thing that are really important are messengers. And so the messengers can be top down, so we need your business, sort of the leaders, to endorse behaviours because, again, people do what other people do. And also, it needs to be people that they relate to. So if you want people to do something, it needs to be someone that they think, that person looks like me, they're doing it, yeah, then I would do it. But if they don't look anything like them, if it's like, you know, the hippiest, greenest person in the office and they're not that kind of person, they'll be like, I don't want to look like them. I want to look like the rest of my crew. So you need to get someone from their crew to be doing it. This wasn't about hip hop, was it? No. I got into my hip hop vibe. And also, if you want to inspire pro-environmental behaviours, you need to tell people why they're doing it. So DEFRA did loads of research about why people did pro-environmental actions, and it was because they thought it would make a difference, because they thought loads of other people are doing it, and it's going to make a difference. So if you think about the Blue Planet effect, people care about plastics now, and they're doing something because they think other people are doing something. And so talking to them about environment isn't always going to cut it. Lots of people are motivated by other things. Can you believe it? So if you want to engage them, talk about something that matters to them. So maybe it's the social aspect of a behaviour, or maybe it's like the health aspects of a behaviour. So you can do a behaviour change campaign about using less water bottles, plastic water bottles, by talking about health and the health benefits of drinking more water. And that will have probably more of an effect with people who don't care about the environment. If you think about the vegan movement, why have so many people gone vegan? Because of their health. So find the thing that engages them and talk about that. Don't talk about the thing that you care about because they won't get it. And also, don't focus on the negative aspect. So everyone's seen enough pictures of bottles in the sea. And if you keep reinforcing those negative scenarios, what you're going to get is people seeing the negative aspects of it and feeling that it's hopeless. So if you want people to do a pro-environmental behaviour, show them the pro-environmental behaviour. Don't show them the overflowing bin, show them what good recycling looks like. And I think that's definitely 10. And I don't know how many minutes we've done, I didn't check.
We're well over, Livvy, but that's okay.
Okay.
Livvy, everybody!